Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, for the hardcore boxing fans, we ain't all hardcore, but you had a fight yesterday with Romero and Ismail Cambosa. Oh, I forget his name, damn. Borosso, right? And this was so egregious how this fight stopped that, I didn't even want to say anything about it, right? Fight was stopped totally premature. And it shows, how boxing could be. Boxing needs a lot of things. We all know about it. We talk about it all the time. But, you need a little bit of instant replay and stuff like that, between rounds, replay knockdowns and stuff. Because first of all, let me just explain. Barbosa was winning the fight, right? He was winning the fight. And Romero was a little bit more tentative and taking his time. Right, he's learned from being counterpunched by Gervonta Davis, and he was taking his time, which is okay. The only problem is when you're a person that goes out here and call everybody else that takes their time boring, then you're gonna have problems with people coming back at you saying the same thing. But it's boxing. You can't just go out here running up on people. And Barbosa has like your boy Rolly Romero was saying, he's got cement in his hands. So you have to be a little bit careful, and that's what boxing is all about. It's about knocking somebody out, but being careful that you don't get knocked out. This is legitimate. You know what I mean? So anyway, Rolly was behind on points. Barbosa was landing more punches. They both weren't landing that much. Barbosa had Romero down in round 2 with a nice left hand. I didn't think Romero had to go down from that punch because he was hit with a harder one about 3 rounds later. But he went down, got up, handled his business, stayed in the fight. Barbosa was dropped, I think, in round 9. Got up, was fighting, having exchanges, but he was hurt a little bit. But actually, it was even a push. He was hit before the push with a good, I think it was a good left that stunned him. And then with a right hand, he was pushed down. And I think instant replay would have shown that he shouldn't have got credit for that knockdown. But whatever, he was pushed down. Got up, had a little exchange, and the fight was stopped. And his fight was stopped from punches that weren't even landing, right? Punches that didn't even land. My man Tony Weeks got in there and stopped the fight. Now, everybody knows before you get into a fight. Both camps know, the referee knows, the judges knows who the hell's supposed to win and why. And that just weighs too much on the stuff. And that's why, so many things that goes down. It just, when it was so bad, I was like, I ain't going to say nothing about that. But I was thinking, there might be 1 or 2 people out here that won't want to hear my opinion about it. That's just too corrupt. And, at things like that happen that bad, then you have to start thinking about the people like Barbosa who has to go home and won't even get a rematch. Winning the fight and it gets stopped, taken from him, absolutely taken from him. And he's not going to even get a rematch. And this guy, Rolly Romero, can go talk about Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis and all that stuff. No. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who won't even know. That's an Italian fighter named Diego De Carollis. I've seen him get robbed in Germany about 2 or 3 times. Daniel Jacobs, Mr. not getting the decision. Just with John Ryder, just because they wanted Ryder to fight Canelo, beats Gennady Golovkin, doesn't get the nod. Damn near ties Canelo and don't even get close on the scorecards. Just Daniel Jacobs, just, always. And then we'll tell him, well, you're not letting your hands go. You got to, because brothers and stuff, most people you got to beat them by a landslide, the person who is supposed to win. And shouldn't be that way. You should be able to win a split decision. You can't just go in every fight, fighting somebody that's really awesome and just let your hands go with no worry about what's coming back. Right? So it's just so many things like that. So I feel for my man Barbosa because he won the fight. He was winning the fight by 2 or 3 rounds. Matter of fact, 3 or 4 rounds at the time of the stoppage. And then you get stopped when the guy's not even landed. He landed earlier in the round and you were hurt and recovering and throwing punches at all times. Most of the time when they stop the fight, it's like because nothing's coming back. That's not what you can say. So I haven't seen a Tony Weeks interview yet, but that's ridiculous. And I know it leads me to why I'm not so really keen on watching Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, right? Because, see, a lot of people, narrative, you can control the narrative. You can just control the narrative. When you just say stuff like, hey, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao was boring, and you just constantly just say it, then everybody will start regurgitating it. Right? And I keep telling people, no, it wasn't. If you was for Floyd Mayweather, then you enjoyed the whole damn fight. If you were for Manny Pacquiao, you enjoyed the hell out of rounds 4 and 6. You were probably jumping up looking at the TV. Stop with the boring stuff. It wasn't. Just a wrong person won in the sour grapes. But you can hey, we're going to control the narrative. The narrative for Lomachenko versus Jermaine Ortiz, I just watched Lomachenko lose, excuse me. Right, I watched him lose, but I can't. It's like he gets the nod, and the judges. He had a great scorecard, right? But he lost to Jermaine Ortiz. But they would just tell you, well, Lomachenko came on late, right? Yeah, he did. But rounds 8, 9, 10, right? Look at those. Jermaine Ortiz won one of them. I forgot which one it was because it's been a couple of months. But one of the rounds, Jermaine Ortiz won landslide. You know what I mean? But, he came on late. And Jermaine Ortiz won most of the good rounds, the early rounds, right? And just because they won't show Ortiz's work, you've seen it, right? So Ortiz beat Lomachenko, and no one says anything about it, right? Just no one says anything about it. So Devin Haney is damned to beat the hell out of Lomachenko in order to get a decision here, right? And Lomachenko is a good fighter. Beating the hell out of Lomachenko is not something easy to do. And I'm sick of brothers having to go in the fights, having to go in there like, you get a head start and we got a 100-meter race, but you get to start at 30-meter mark. Right? This is what this is. That's why I'm not really keen on watching it because I know how it's going to be. The crowd's going to be going for everything Lomachenko does, whether he's swinging, landing, or avoiding punches, right? And and then getting points for stuff and the judging, right? And so, and your boy Devin Haney is going to have to do a whole lot of stuff. And I don't really like it, how that's going to go down, right? And I don't like the fact that he's going to have to win by a landslide to get a decision here. So let's hope that's not the case. But when you're looking at this Rolly Romero fight, right, it's just no way that we should just move on and just let him start talking about Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. No, the WBA, who just gave him that belt, needs to say, no. After further review, like we do in other sports, you have to rematch that guy immediately. Because we can't just call you a champion because you were losing the fight. They stopped the fight with punches that didn't even land. And we don't want our champion to look like that. But let's just see if the WBA or anybody else would do that. But you understand where I'm going with this, guys? Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.